Hello and welcome to Networks Live On Demand, a Blue Star Families webinar. This webinar is being re-recorded because the original that was recorded came out to be a little bit glitchy. So let's get started. Blue Star Families is very fortunate to have a certified resume writer on our staff. Erika Clark, who is our Jacksonville, Florida careers manager, is going to be our presenter today. I'm Liz Jones, the Blue Star Families Coordinator. Erika's going to talk about the federal resume writing process. As always, if you would like to reach out to the team directly, we can be reached at careers, careers, at bluestarfam, bluestarfam.org. Thank you, and I will turn it over to Erika.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erika Clark. Like Liz Jones has said, I want to welcome you to the Navigating the Federal Hiring Process webinar. This is going to be a really great webinar. It's going to be the down and dirty of what you need to know about the federal resume writing process. I have previously worked for the Fleet and Family Support Center, where I facilitated transition assistance and family employment readiness program and support. I now work with Blue Star Families as their career manager, and I'm here to help you with this federal resume hiring process. This webinar is designed to be a quick overview of the federal resume and hiring process. I suggest you do as much research as you can while compiling information for your federal resume. Knowledge is power. If you ever don't understand anything on USA Jobs, your biggest tool is the internet. If you have any other questions, you can also contact us at the email that Liz provided. So this is searching for a job on USA Jobs. When searching for a federal job, there are several ways that you can find what you're looking for. You can search by job title, the department, the agency, for example, Department of Defense, Homeland Security, Veterans Affairs, etc. You can search also by series number. The series numbers are a division of occupational group or family of jobs consisting of positions similar to a specialized line of work. So for example, accounting. If you're looking for an accounting position, that is going to be under Accounting Series 0510. You can find all the series numbers at opm.gov. And this is just one way you can search for a job. You don't have to include the series number. You can also search by job location. This is how I like to search for a job because I live in Jacksonville, Florida, and who wants to leave Jacksonville, Florida? I like it here in sunny Florida. So I like to search by Jacksonville, Florida, and I press search, and all of the jobs in my area come up. You can do this for your area. If you are willing to relocate, you can search by the job title or the location in which you want to live. Now, if you look to the right on our screen, you're going to see what's called the hiring path. This is what you want to check to anything that applies to you. So open to the public. If you check that, these are going to be all of the jobs on USA Jobs in your location or area in which you searched that are open to the general public. If you choose federal employees, these are jobs that are only open to federal employees. It's very important to remember what a federal employee is. These are people who currently work for the government. If you were in the military, that does not make you a federal employee. Only if you worked with USA Jobs or a non-appropriated fund position would make you a federal employee. The next one is veterans, and if you are a veteran, you definitely want to click this. These are jobs that are also open to veterans. And the last one is individuals with disabilities. So these are the pros and cons to federal employment. Obviously, there are a lot more pros than there are cons. So great benefits. Average government salaries are competitive with private and non-profit sectors. Pay can also increase fairly quickly for top candidates with strong education and also experience. Federal benefits include health insurance, retirement, and vacation. And these are extremely competitive, if not superior to other sectors. Not only are you offered retirement, but if you are someone who has separated from the military, your time in will count towards your retirement. So if you were in the military for 12 years and you were separated or you left the military, those 12 years will count towards your 20 that you need to retire with the government, which is a really great benefit that you can have. Where do you want to work and live? Whatever that answer may be, chances are you can find a federal government job there. Most people think that federal government jobs are all in Washington, D.C. While they may have some, 84% of federal government jobs are outside of the D.C. area. More than 50,000 federal government employees work abroad. There are federal jobs suited to every interest and skill, from art history to zoology. Government is a great place to combine your skills with your interests. For example, you could use your mathematics background and your interest in environment by working as an accountant for the Environmental Protection Agency, your engineering degree to improve airport security, or your biology degree in interest in medicine to conduct cutting-edge medical research at the National Institutes of Health. Flexible work schedules, including telework, are a major plus for those with busy schedules or even long commutes. And of course, everyone's favorite, federal holidays. Who doesn't want Columbus Day off? Plus, a general vacation and sick leave package. All of these packaged together make the government an attractive employer if you're looking to have a life outside of work. You'll have many opportunities to move up the ladder in government, but you will have to be proactive. Many agencies use individual development plans as official format for working with your supervisor to plan your short and long-term career goals. An internal merit promotion program helps ensure once that you are in and doing a good job, you will have easy access to information about job openings within the government. Government work is steady and secure, which is an attractive selling point, especially when economic times are tough. It basically takes an act of Congress to fire someone who is a federal employee. Now the cons. The hiring process is often cited as the biggest turnoff for applicants, but I hope that this webinar will ease your anxiety and provide some insight for you. So the resume. If you do not have a paper and a pen, I do suggest you get one now. We were going to talk about the length, format, compliance information, and keywords of the federal resume. There is a lot of information, so I want to make sure that you have all the notes that you need. And these notes can be found in the notes section at the end of the webinar. So length. Everything that you've learned about being concise on a resume, forget it when it comes to federal resumes. Your federal resume is a very detailed document that shows everything that you have done that is related to the job in which you're applying. In detail, you want your resume to be long enough to contain enough content to get you the best qualified for the position. Format. As you can see on your screen, I have an example of a formatted federal resume. The format of your resume is very important. If you do not have the correct format, you will not be considered for the job. USA Jobs has a format on their website that you can enter all of your data into. Please use it. They provide it for you. You definitely want to use that. This will ensure that you do not forget any necessary information. They have blocks within USA Jobs that you input your information into, so you're sure not to forget. The format on the website will have you include for each work experience your start and end dates, including the month and the year, the number of hours you worked per week, the level and the amount of experience you have. For instance, whether you served as a project manager or a team member helps to illustrate your level of experience. Examples of relevant experience and accomplishments that prove you can perform the task at the level required for the job as stated in the job announcement. Your experience needs to address every required qualification. What I like to do is utilize your vacancy announcement. When you find a job that you like on USA Jobs, go ahead and print out that job and highlight everything that's important that they're requiring and make sure those pieces are in your resume. That makes sure you do not forget anything that they're looking for. You want to ensure you quantify your accomplishments with specific data. For example, saved the company $600,000 by doing X, Y, and Z. This quantifies your accomplishment within that organization. The best way to do this is if you are military, use your evals. That is really important. If you have your evals, use that information and put it in your resume. Be detailed. This resume should be in paragraph form and not bullets. Compliance information. This is the biggest piece where things go wrong on a federal resume. Ensure that you meet all of the minimum requirements of the position. This includes who may apply. If it says who may apply, federal government employees only, those are only going to be open to those federal employees. So make sure that you're not wasting your time creating a resume for a job which you don't even meet the minimum who may apply qualification. We do not want you to apply for a job that you're not eligible for. Keywords. Your federal resume should include keywords from the job vacancy announcement. Every resume should be different, as most job announcements ask for different qualifications. Keywords are words that are repeated from the announcement and represent critical skills needed for high performance on the job. Also use plain language. Avoid using those pesky acronyms and terms that are not easily understood. For example, I used to work in property management and we worked in a program called MRI. I am not going to put on my resume, worked on a program called MRI, because the first thing people are going to think about is that I worked in a hospital, in which I did not. So we want to make sure that you are using information that is relevant to the job and that people understand. Even if you think that they should know that, make sure you spell it out. Don't leave anything up to chance for those HR people to maybe know what you're talking about and maybe not. Just spell it out. As a side note, you are eligible to have 5 resumes saved on USA Jobs at one time. It's highly suggested that you make one of your resumes searchable. If you make your resume searchable, your profile and resume will be visible to recruiters searching the USA Jobs resume bank. But do not leave this as your only chance to get a job. You want to make sure that you are applying for the jobs in which you want to apply for. Make sure every resume is different. You want to make sure that you are using the keywords from that specific vacancy announcement because each one is very different. So here is a meme. It says here that you are a professional booger. Well, he meant blogger. Make sure that your resume has been reread several times. We don't want any typos like this. Although it may be funny, it certainly is probably not funny to the man interviewing. So what not to include in your resume? Classified or government sensitive information, your social security number. We want to prevent any identity theft here. Photos of yourself, personal information such as age, gender, religious affiliation, etc., and any encrypted and digitally signed documents. So the Occupational Questionnaire. On each vacancy announcement, and I've highlighted it here, you are going to find an Occupational Questionnaire. It's going to say, view assessment questions. You should also print this out and scour the questions to ensure that you have addressed your experience with each one of those items somewhere in your resume. Do not leave this up to chance. Although you will have to answer them again when you submit your resume on a separate web page, you want to make sure all of these questions have been addressed in your resume. You do not want to make the HR guess about whether or not you are best qualified. Show them on your resume. So in this assessment questionnaire, they're going to ask you several questions, and you're going to pick what best suits you, which answer best suits you. Make sure that these are in your resume, because if there are questions they're asking you now, these are going to be questions that are important to them, and you want to make sure that's showcased in your resume. So here we are at spousal preference, and this is really important for our spouses. Just as military veterans have sacrificed so much in service to our country, so too have their spouses. The Navy and Marine Corps recognizes the invaluable contribution of military spouses and welcome their talents and strengths in our civilian workforce. In the Department of the Navy and throughout the federal government, military spouses have greater opportunities than ever before to be hired as members of the civilian workforce. In 2009, the President signed an executive order that provides a non-competitive appointment authority for hiring certain qualified military spouses, spouses of disabled veterans, and unremarried widows or widowers of veterans. So, life as a military spouse. This is the perfect example of what's going on. PCS orders, juggling a job, juggling the children, juggling boxes when you're trying to move. We know that you have a huge part in the military, and me through experiences, I am also a military spouse. So I want to talk to you about your spousal preference. It's really important to remember that you need to register with the Department of Defense Priority Placement Program by contacting the OCHR Operations Center near you. You can get this information at Pass an ID. It's a great place to get the information of where you want to go at your base. On all bases, they're somewhere different. So it's the OCHR Operations Center. And you want to do this with every new duty station. It doesn't matter if you are in the same area. If you go to a new duty station, you need to register with that location. And you want to do this as soon as you receive your orders. So as soon as your spouse receives orders, make sure you contact Pass an ID, and they will get you to the right place, to that OCHR Operations Center, to put you on the Spousal Preference Program or the Priority Placement Program. Even if you're not considered working right now, you don't want to work at this very moment, I'd register anyhow in case your circumstances may change. And they will get you in the right direction of all the paperwork that you need. You need to make sure that you're on your order. On the orders, you're going to be asked to provide your resume and documentation that supports your status as a military spouse. Then you can apply for job opportunities within the Department of the Navy and select the PPP military spouse preference in the assessment questionnaire.
Erika, I have a quick question. I noticed that obviously you're focusing on Navy Marine Corps. That's very pertinent to you in Jacksonville, Florida. But if you are a spouse of a soldier, or if you're a spouse of an airman, does that also apply to you?
It does. You would just have to speak to your Pass an ID office to go to that OCHR Operations Center, and they have a little bit of a different system, but we want to make sure that you speak to them and get registered.
Oh, cool. Great. That is definitely something that should be written down. Okay.
Perfect. So supporting documents. In order to be considered for any kind of preference, you'll need to upload all required documents. This is included, but not limited to, your DD-214, your VA disability letter, an SF-15, or any documents the vacancy announcement specifies. If required documents are not included with your application, you will not be referred on to a hiring manager. Make sure you read the job announcement in its entirety. I like to remember when your teacher said in grade school, make sure you read the directions. It's the same thing. The vacancy announcement is just like the directions to being placed in a position. You want to make sure that everything is uploaded. If you ever have a question on any kind of document that they're asking for that you don't know what it is, again, you can contact us, or you can just do a simple Google search. If you didn't know what an SF-15 was, you can just Google SF-15 and it'll come up and it'll say it's the 10-point letter for veterans with disabilities. And you can fill that out and add it to your resume or add it to your documents. But again, make sure you read those answers that are the questions that they're asking you for what you need to upload. Finding a federal job and the hiring process is a very tedious task. It could take you a while to get your resume together, and that's okay. You want to make sure that you start your search and search every day as new jobs come available. You want to make sure that you start on a resume several days before that job closes. You don't want to start that day and be hustling to get all the information together. Jobs close, and once they're closed, they're closed. You can't go back in and change anything or reapply. So some resources that we have for you are some really great places to go. OPM.gov has a ton of information for you. Fleet and Family Support Centers or Family Service Centers on the base near you, they give you the opportunity to give them your federal resume and help you look over that for you. So make sure you're utilizing any on-base services that you can use for free. And the human resources on your installation, you can go see them as well and ask them about the job. Federalgovernmentjobs.us is a great website. And then for our military spouses that are listening in, it's going to be, you want to click on the secnav.navy.mil, and that's going to give you all of the information on the priority placement program for military spouses. Even when I apply for jobs, I reread this, make sure I have all my ducks in a row, and make sure everything is there so I am best qualified. Again, if you have any questions, we will have these sites in the notes below. And we encourage you to seek out our career managers if you are in the Jacksonville or San Diego area. And even if you are not, have your resume uploaded to Blue Star Family's website, whether it be a civilian resume or a federal resume, and we can get you going on finding a new career. I thank you for listening in, and I encourage you to listen in to the rest of the Networks Live on-demand programs that we have.
Well, thanks, Erika. I actually had some questions.
Sure.
I kind of saved them for the end. Okay, so as military spouse, is there any organizations that are located on base that can help me write a federal resume that's not going to cost me a lot of money?
Yes, absolutely. I know the Navy has Fleet and Family Support Centers. Any support center for the families, they're usually located on every base. You can call them, make an appointment, or walk in to receive your help writing it. My suggestion to you is get it going. Have a template going. Start your federal resume. Even if you don't think it's right, start it. Get all your thoughts down on your paper of what you've done in the past, and they will help you best format that resume. And they would do it for free.
Awesome. And then, so as a military spouse and my spouse is active duty and he gets orders to move and we're moving with him, should I start looking for another federal job at that point in time? Or will the job that if I'm already holding a federal job, will that transition with me, or do they?
It depends. That is a really great question. It depends on where you're going and what. In the federal government, they're kind of like orders that you have with your job. So it depends on if that job is available where you're going. And that's something that you would have to check with the human resources on your installation. So if you're currently holding a federal job, check with them and let them know your situation. But there is also a priority placement program for those who have already held a job and are relocating with their spouse. It may not be the same exact job that you had, but it will be one of similar stature and pay grade.
Oh, okay, great. That's really all the questions that I have. If anyone else has any questions, you can reach out to us directly at the careers email, or these links will be located in the notes below in the description. So I guess that's it.
Thanks, everybody. everybody.
Thanks, Erica.